Hey guys, welcome back. You're still tuned into Halftime Report here on CNBC-TV18. And let's talk about the top gainer on the Nifty. M&M is up over 4%. By the way, this after the 7% move that we saw yesterday as well. Now, today the news is that they've announced the signing of a component supply agreement with Volkswagen for its purpose-built electric platform Inglo. The deal covers the supply of certain electric components as well as unified cells. So to discuss more on this, we're joined by Prakash Diwan. Prakash, always great speaking to you. And, just come in with what you expect, on how big this could really be. Also, M&M has big plans, right, with respect to their EV SUVs as well. Starting in December of this year, there are going to be 5 of those. So take us through what you make of this deal now.
Good afternoon, Pavithra. Yes, so absolutely, this is something coming at the back of a fairly decent set of earnings, where there were lots of questions being raised on margins and all of that. But I think what the tractors business gave in, the UV business has compensated. So that's about the earnings. It didn't go into earnings with very high expectations, so that explained that 7% jump yesterday. Today's move is, of course, on the back of this whole expansion of what potential M&M has in terms of getting into the EV space. Now, EV as a space is something which only Tata Motors has had some sort of a sway within the Indian markets. M&M has probably been a bit late to the party, but then the way they're kind of building up, I think they will probably catch up much faster. What this deal does essentially is getting into basic components which are very critical to be able to do a full level indigenization of the value chain. You cannot have this done, it would have taken much longer. Tata Motors had some sort of a head start, but there's still a lot of reliance on external vendors that they would have to also look at indigenizing as scale starts building up. But M&M is probably doing it right from scratch, and that's going to be translating into better margins. So what this does is it gets them set for not just growth, which is uninterrupted, but also a very decent margin profile. So that's on the EV side. The other thing that I make out from the kind of commentary that's coming out, Pavithra, is that they've filled up some of the gaps very efficiently, very effectively in their product mix. When the Thar was launched, it met with some success. Then they kept building on it. But now they're also looking at middle of this year launching some, a new variant, which is a 5-door version, which is exactly what the people have been asking for, what customers have been seeking for. So that gives them into a new segment that kind of, builds on already the strong gains that they made in that segment. So they're filling up gaps, and most of these places where the M&M products are getting launched are actually with very little competition. They're not competing with the Innova Cristas of the world. They're not competing with the smaller cars from Maruti. They're trying to fill gaps in their own way. And this whole thing of Atmanirbharta and, using Indian products is really kind of helping them in significant ways in terms of the demand buildup.
So, Prakash, taking all of this into consideration, the fact that they have this big EV plan, the fact that you're saying that, margins are likely to improve as well on the back of all of this, how much of an upside do you see on M&M, or do you think that much of this is already in the price?
So at this stage, the price already captures what's being kind of held as promise in terms of the story ahead. So eventually, once they actually start rolling out, the kind of sales numbers will actually be more realistic in terms of factoring in any kind of salience into the price. This is already priced in what potential it sits on, but then they really have to do things to execute and realize that potential. And once that happens, that's when the next leg of move would happen. The stock has never been very expensive at those 1,300-1,400 zones, but now the fact that it's moved to that 1,800 with a little bit of a lag as compared to Tata Motors and Maruti, you probably see some consolidation. So I don't think you expect too many things happening which translate into a stock up move, but it also starts forming a higher base. So you won't see people getting disappointed with quarterly numbers or something which happens, some sort of a slowdown in tractors or all of those short-term news flow, and the stock probably gets much more steady at these levels and goes through a consolidation from here on.
Okay, got that, Prakash. We'll leave it at that today. Thanks a lot for joining us with this quick take on M&M and this new deal with Volkswagen. We do need to get into a short break now, but on the other side, we're going to bring you our commodity segment. Manisha Gupta spoke to Amrita Sen, founder and director research at Energy Aspects. So we'll bring you a slice of that conversation in just a bit.